Frosty.
What even is Frosty Milk?
Frosty Milk? Like the hockey game? Is that it?
Like, I literally never heard of it until everyone started talking about it. And I was like, okay.
I don't even know.
3, 2, 1. Today is... Shit, what is it? I'm editor-in-chief for Monarch Magazine, and I'm here with the lovely Lia Pereira.
Hi, I'm Lia Pereira. I'm a competitive figure skater for Team Canada and a part-time student at U of Guelph.
Yeah, and today we're just going to be talking about Lia as a figure skater and her style both on and off the ice, and her journey through skating, and then also self-expression and all things like that. So yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. So do you want to tell me a bit about yourself, so your age, what you're majoring in, and where you're from?
So I'm 20, turning 21 in a month or two, actually. Mm-hmm. I'm currently in undeclared business major at Guelph. This is my second year at the school, but I'm only part-time, so I'm still in some first-year courses and will be deciding on what my major is very soon within business. But I'm enjoying it so far. And as for my figure skating history, I've been skating for 12 years, and most recently in the past 3 years have started skating pairs with my partner Trent, and we have been named to the world team 3 times, and we'll be heading to our 3rd worlds in a month or so.
Nice, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
It's very exciting. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, next question was, can you give me some background with your figure skating career? So more specifically, how you started, like how you got into it, and the journey that got you to where you are today.
Yeah, so I actually did a lot of sports as a kid. I was just very active and full of energy.
Yeah.
And my best friend at the time was figure skating, and what do best friends do when they're 8 years old? They just do everything together.
Fair.
So I started skating because of her, and I just loved it. I don't really remember ever not skating. It just became a part of my life really quickly, and I just loved every second of it. The beauty of figure skating is that it's athletic, but also very artistic, and I feel like there's very few sports that kind of have both aspects, and I think that's what really drew me to it. And then I did start my pairs journey in August of 2022, which was very exciting, very uncommon for somebody to start pair skating that late in their skating career. I was accomplished on my own, had done a couple internationals as a junior and as a senior, and then kind of was looking for something fresh and new, and it's been going really well, and I really enjoy it. I guess, like, if we're looking for highlights, me and my partner Trent's first year together, we had been skating for around 7 months, and went to place 3rd at the Canadian Nationals.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then we had got named to the world team and placed 6th in the world.
Oh, wow.
So that was a very quick climb to success. I think I didn't really realize how crazy that was at the time. Looking back, very, very proud of that moment, and have just kind of continued our relationship and our partnership for the past 3 years, and have big goals ahead as well.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment. So then would you say that, how would you define then your chemistry together? Like, is there something in particular that, shoot, I'm losing the words now.
Like connected?
But yeah, was there like a sense of connection? Like, how did you guys even start working together? Like, what was really the catalyst for that?
He reached out to me because his partner had decided to retire, and I was a little shocked at first, again, because I hadn't really done pair skating before, but we bonded pretty instantly. I think we both share such a love and passion for figure skating, which starts to become rare the higher up you get. You know, it starts to become more of a job.
Right.
But we really both focus on how much we actually just enjoy being at the rink every day. We're both very high energy, positive type of people as well. Like our friends at the rink call us like the golden retrievers and stuff
sweet.
like that. Yeah, we bonded really, really quickly, and I think that was part of the reason for such quick success.
Yeah.
And we just try to maintain it by checking in with each other and, you know, little car rides and stuff like that, just to like keep the communication open and flowing. And I think it's been a real help and really important, because the on-ice stuff is obviously important, but the off-ice stuff is equally as important.
Of course. Yeah, just maintaining a relationship outside of just working together.
For sure, yeah.
So yeah, next question. So I want to say that figure skating is known for being a very beautiful sport where aesthetics are very important, and it's like a key component to what you're doing. So what has your experience with that been like, and how do you find yourself perceiving beauty like as a result, and like prioritizing aesthetics?
I think there's many ways to look at that specific aspect of the sport. Many of them are negative, I guess I should say, and tend to be problems for a lot of people. But looking past all of the negative and difficult aspects of that, I think it really is a way to express yourself and to, you know, pay attention to detail and artistry, and to be able to, you know, work with your hands and like move your body in a certain way is a really cool experience, and something that I really gravitate towards. Not so much when I was younger. You know, the little detail work is a bit discouraging when you're young, but being at the place where I am now, I'm constantly trying to improve that artistry side of skating, and I think some of the top skaters in the world, you can feel something when you're watching it, and that is like what I strive to do as well, is to perform for myself, but also to perform for the audience and make them feel an emotion, because I think it's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, tying into that, since figure skating has been such a part of your life, how do you find your identity being tied in with your achievements on the ice, and how has your sport influenced your ways of self-expression both on and off the ice?
Yeah, I think I've always been an artistic person, which I didn't really realize until recently. I love the dress design, and I love doing my makeup before a competition. I actually find it really relaxing. And I love having my nails done. I do my own nails, actually, so I just like love kind of self-expression in that way as well. But artistry specifically, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. I was saying, how do you find your identity being tied in with your achievements?
Right.
Yeah. Just even like how you choose to present yourself to other people.
Right.
That type of thing.
I would say when I was younger, I was always looking for qualities of myself that weren't tied to skating, because it was such a big part of my life. I loved it, obviously, but I was almost feeling like a void for something else, and that was majority of what I was talking about to family and friends was always about my skating. So I was always trying to look for something that was a bit different. I think just, you know, I'm kind of known for my laugh and like outgoing extroverted personality, so I think that's kind of a way that I express myself, not on the ice, just off the ice, and in little post interviews and media training and media segments. But yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know what else other than that.
Yeah, but yeah, just looking for little ways to like kind of set yourself apart from the crowd. You find yourself doing a lot.
And I guess social media is is a big part of that too, which is interesting. I would say I have a decent presence on my social media and trying to put some personality into that and to just like engage with people who enjoy skating and fans and whatnot, just like kind of expressing myself in that way. I think it draws people in a bit more. I think Alona Mar is a great example of that, just like building her personality and her brand on social media, and it draws more people into rugby and it draws more people into her as a person. So I guess I would look for inspiration through other athletes like that as well, just kind of being themselves and separating themselves in that way.
Okay, cool. So how do you define your style off the ice? And in particular, what are some styles you find yourself gravitating towards? And what are some of the areas of fashion that you're interested in exploring further?
I would say I'm at a very developmental stage of my sense of style. I gravitate to more I don't want to say statement pieces, but I just know when I like something. Yeah. And so that's usually my first thought when I see it in a store or something. I purchase it, and then the styling part is what I'm working on getting better at. I'm usually in a cold climate, so I guess a lot of my style revolves around coats and layers and layering. So I'm kind of trying to add that into my style. But I think style is such an interesting term because you see certain people with certain aesthetics that are super cool and super inspiring, but I also love kind of just switching it up depending on what mood I'm in or where I'm going. I think that is really cool about fashion. I find myself like changing my style based on even certain competitions or destinations that I'm traveling to. So I would say it's very up in the air right now, but I think that's where I like it to be because I like to keep it fresh.
It's kind of like unlabeled, just like still 100%. Trying new things out. Type of thing.
I look to social media a lot for inspiration, a lot of Pinterest, especially if I have a specific item that I want to wear. I'll look about like this certain pant styled and look for inspiration in that way. I think jewelry is another thing that I'm kind of starting to incorporate and seeing how much it can elevate an outfit. I would say I'm at a very like beginner phase of what my style means, but a lot of experimenting has been going on recently.
Which is honestly how most people do it. That's how I started getting into fashion. It's just like you figure out what works for you and you just kind of go from there. And it's it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of development.
For sure.
Next question. So what or who are some of your main sources of style inspiration? And if you could have any one person's closet, who would it be?
That's another great question. I really just look on like social media and stuff. I think Pinterest is the biggest one for me, I think. And even just people in the street, like I'll be walking around and notice an outfit and I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. I never would have thought to pair those things together. So I would say it's just like a constant admiration all across every single way. One person's closet is really hard. I'm gonna shout out a skater who I've worked with and who has done choreography for me. Her name's Olivia Smart. I think she is a really cool sense of style and is kind of more of what I mean by like layering and different colors and different things that you would never picture together but just look really cool. And especially with the accessories, very cool. So I guess I would say her closet.
Okay, cool. And that's someone you know personally too?
Yes.
Which is interesting because a lot of people usually would pick like a celebrity or someone that's like more kind of like well known. I know, I can't think of a specific celebrity. Just like them all of them. That's fair. You can always pull different elements from different people's
for sure.
From their different closets and whatnot. But so next question. I know you mentioned when we did the on ice photo shoot that you actually had a part in designing the costume that you were wearing at the time. Could you tell me a bit more about that and the significance behind it all?
I've always loved the art of designing skating dresses specifically, just because it's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And it was always a super big deal when you got your first custom dress made.
Yeah.
I still have it. And just as I got older, I started to kind of have more input into what I wanted to wear and what I felt I wanted to wear based on the music that I was skating to, because that has a big part of it as well. This specific dress, I again used Pinterest for some inspiration from a dance costume actually, and it was kind of the had like the little ruching in the diagonals in the different directions, and then I think for the color I was also inspired by another image that I saw that was just like this beautiful bright magenta, and I thought that it would look really pretty with like an ombre effect, and even just down to like where the appliques were placed and the color of the stones. I worked with my dressmaker and coach at the time, and we kind of collaborated, but that was the first time that I felt like I really had a good like I really had an impact on what I was trying to create, which is really cool. It's still one of my favorite dresses to this day.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's incredible that you had that experience too, to be able to have your input, and really it ties into a lot of your own self-expression on the ice too.
For
to say
sure.
This is something that you designed, and especially when it is for a sport that you love so much.
For sure. Since then I've tried to, put my input in and kind of discuss what I'd like to wear for programs and such, but that one specifically holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then, so looking back on your skating career, what are some competition highlights, as well as some of your favorite places you visited? And out of all of them, which culture and fashion have you enjoyed the most?
Ooh. I would say my favorite, I have two that are tied for my favorite destination for different reasons. First one being Japan.
Yeah.
Never was on my bucket list, but like super cool city. We were right downtown Tokyo. The food was amazing. Just the whole vibe of the city I loved. And the competition ended up going well, so that was a great addition too. That's usually how I determine how much I like a place is how well we skated as well. But yes, I would love to go back to Japan. And the second one being a little ski village in Germany called Oberstdorf. That was my first real European city experience, which I think everyone dreams of. It's just the cobblestone roads and the little shops and the little coffee shops and stores. It's all like so cute, and the mountains in the background was just so beautiful. I had the best week ever there. So those would be my top two favorite places. In terms of fashion inspiration, I think Europe is a great one, but more of a city vibe. I love like the, I guess, leather, clearly. But also more coats and like headscarves and sunglasses, like that kind of vibe. And I also most recently went to China.
Nice.
And they, at our little skating banquet at the end of the competition, they had a little closet where you could try on traditional Chinese gowns that were so beautiful, and I tried mine on for a few photos and didn't want to take it off. So that is another really cool thing about being able to travel for figure skating, is being able to see the different fashion styles and traditional outfits that you wouldn't really experience otherwise.
Of course. I actually remember seeing those photos from China, and they were really, really cool.
Really cool.
It was really gorgeous. And then, so I know that when we talked previously, you touched on how you've been able to maintain your love for the sport throughout your career. Could you tell me a bit more about how you've used that love as fuel to get to where you are today? And have there been points where your love and passion have wavered? And if so, how did you push through that? I know it's a pretty heavy question.
No, it's okay. I think first and foremost, what I was super lucky to have in my singles career and in my pairs career is a good support system. Like I said, I've always been a positive person, but times do get hard, I think, for everyone in life, and I don't think I ever questioned or wavered my decision to continue skating, but I definitely had some hard days. But I'm super grateful for my coaches and my family and everyone who supported me and continued to lift me up when I was feeling a bit more down. And yeah, I think that was the biggest part for me. I think COVID was a real confirmation of how much I loved skating because I was forced to take time off, which I had never done before.
Fair, yeah.
Very rarely did I take vacations or breaks just because I loved it, so I didn't really want to. And the forced couple months off were a real just confirmation that I really did miss it and I really did love skating. I was never a skating fan before COVID, so I loved it, but I was never watching competitive competitions or anything. I wasn't keeping up with who was in the highest ranks in terms of skating. And COVID is when I became an actual fan of figure skating, and I started watching all the disciplines and just on YouTube because of how much I missed it and how much I craved it.
Of course, yeah.
I started watching it more and more, and now I am a fan of figure skating myself, but also watching others.
Nice.
Which I think is also an inspiration, watching other people, not just in pairs, in ice dance, in singles, getting inspiration in that way, and just collaborating with like-minded people.
Yeah. Who do you say then specifically are some figure skaters that you pull a lot of inspiration from? Like, are there any people that really stand out?
I have a lot of friends who are in ice dance, which is different than pair skating, and if you can believe it, is even more based around aesthetics and artistry because it's so performance-based.
Right.
So I would say all of the people who I know in ice dance I look to for inspiration. Just they're such expressive and beautiful skaters, and that I'm trying to bring that vibe and that performance level into pair skating to make it more of a performance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For inspiration.
Yeah.
Because I know specifically too, like when people have been asking me about fashion, I just pull from like the big names, like people have always admired.
Right.
But it's cool that you have that within your own circle, that
it's
you
super
can
cool.
Like actually lean on them for support.
I'm super grateful for all of them. Yeah. I guess I was never really I don't know. I never really like looked up to anybody specifically in figure skating. I've always just taken inspiration from people around me.
Yeah, from your community and everything.
Yeah.
So it's really special.
It is really cool. I'm very grateful for that, actually.
Nice. And so last question. So what are some of your future goals, both long and short term, in figure skating and also your academic career? And do you have anything big upcoming for this year?
Okay, so in skating, we are just past the halfway point in our competition season.
Yeah.
So in about 2 weeks, we'll head out to Korea for
Nice.
4 Continents Championship.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Never been to Korea, so more inspiration, hopefully.
Yeah.
And at the end of March, we will go to our 3rd World Championships in Boston.
Wow,
Yeah,
nice.
so that is super exciting as well. And then we will be done competitions for the season. And then April is more about shows and more performances. So we'll skate to more fun, entertaining music and perform it for an audience that, which we love to do. So we're super excited about that. Big long-term goals would be 2026 Olympics.
Yeah.
We have our eyes set on that pretty hard right now. Yeah. And that's been in our eyesight since we started skating together, but it's becoming more real now that we're a year out.
Sweet, yeah.
Which is crazy. So, yeah.
So what's the audition process for stuff like that? Like, how do you go about getting into the Olympics?
This World Championships in Boston this year, we will qualify the number of spots that Canada is allotted at the Olympics.
Okay.
So, based on placements and rankings, we have 3 pair teams that will be at Worlds in Boston. And based on our placement, we can earn a maximum of 3 spots for the Olympics.
Okay.
So we will be hoping to do that.
Yeah.
And then the following year, we will have our Canadian National Championships, which is a 1-month before the Olympics.
Yeah.
And they decide after that competition, based on the results of the past 2 seasons, who they think should be allotted those slots for the Olympics.
Oh my God, that's daunting.
Yeah. Definitely daunting,
Yeah.
but it does help that they kind of take it accumulatively from the past 2 years. It's not
which is
one
great.
competition, that one qualifier, one moment.
Right.
So that does take the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like a make or break.
For sure. Yeah.
Show it all. Yeah. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And then any like plans that are more like academically based, or any like goals for or, like your future at Guelph?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these business classes right now. I really enjoy doing the part-time student. I think it's a nice break from skating, in a healthy way, so I'm not obsessing over every little detail even when I'm off the ice. It's nice to like give my brain something else to focus on, and also just a different environment for me to be in and to do things like this, which I think is super fun. For career-wise, I'm not sure where I'm headed at the moment. I think I kind of took business as just to learn some general knowledge, to help me maybe one day, maybe something skating related, maybe not. But I do plan to stay at Guelph as of right now, because I love it here. I think the environment is so great, and I love the intimate campus feel, and I've very much enjoyed my time here in the past 2 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it for now then. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure talking to you. And thank you, Manny. So now, from your point in your career, like with how much you've achieved, what is something that you would tell someone that's just starting out, or, oh my God.
You got this. You got this.
That's starting to get into figure skating, and people that are looking to grow into their careers and potentially achieve the level of success that you have?
I would just say enjoy the process. I think that's been my biggest takeaway and my biggest driving force, even now. There's going to be bumps in the road, there's going to be setbacks, but there's also going to be some really great moments and some really high highs. So just like enjoy every minute of it. I think especially in figure skating, there is unfortunately a limit for how long you're able to do it and how long your body allows you to do it. You can't skate forever, so I think just like enjoying every moment. That's also some feedback I've gotten from fellow competitors and people who have retired from the sport, is just they wish that they took it in more and just appreciated the time that they had. So I would say for any young skaters out there, enjoy it all. Take all the good and take all the bad, because it'll also set you up for life in so many ways.
And also, I'm going to throw this one in here too. I just lost it. What was I gonna ask? What are some setbacks that you've faced, and what are the lessons you've been able to pull from it, and have you been able to apply it to drive you forward?
Yeah, I think, the biggest setback for any athlete is injury. I did struggle with a lower back injury, luckily during COVID, so I had some forced time off, which was really helpful. And I think for anyone in that situation is just taking some time for yourself and really prioritizing the rest and recovery side of it as well. As eager as we can be to want to get back as soon as possible, I think that the rest and recovery is a huge part of just making sure that you're healthy when you're returning. And just trying to stay positive, because it's really hard when you're unable to do what you love. But again, having a great support team and people you trust around you is really beneficial in those times as well.
That's great. What would you say then for people that are potentially, if they are faced with injury and they do have to take some time off, people that are scared that that time off is going to set them back? What would you say to that?
I think that there is some truth to that in some sense, especially in skating, because you're on the ice. I was always kind of envious of sports that were on land, just because, especially during COVID or times like that, you can kind of practice even without the facility. But I think just like kind of trying to accept that is part of growth. and setbacks and kind of moments where you're forced to take time off can actually be a benefit in the long run. For me, I know it was, and it prompted me to build a bunch of healthy habits, like better warm-ups and better cool-downs, and I think there's a lot you can learn from any injury. And so just trying to take that approach. It's really, really hard, but you know, lots of people do go through it, so I think there's lots to learn from others as well.
Yeah. And would you say, besides maybe physical implications of skating, what would you say has been the hardest part mentally to get you to where you are today?
I think self-confidence was my biggest issue. When you do something every day and you have such a high standard set for yourself, nothing ever feels good enough. I know that from personal experience, and it's a really hard barrier to overcome, especially when you're doubting something that is coming right from your head and your heart. I've worked with a mental performance coach for the past 3-4 years. That's like really helped me gain that self-confidence back and recognize that, you know, not every day is perfect, but you take one step in the right direction every day, whether that's physical or mental. And kind of focusing on the positive and just driving to that ultimate goal. But that goal can look different every single day, and the results of that can be different every day as well. But that would be the biggest thing that I've had to overcome, is just self-confidence.
Would you say that like perfectionism is something that comes into the play too? Because I know with figure skating especially is it's a very perfect sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say a version of that for sure. I don't think 100% perfectionism, but okay, wait, let me rephrase that. Perfectionism is definitely part of it. I think especially when you are able to do a certain element or perform a certain way one day, and then the next day it feels like you've never done it before, and just like that mentally takes a toll of just like, oh my gosh, I could do this 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago, why can't I do it now? That's like a really hard thing to understand and to accept, and can be very demotivating, I think. So I think perfectionism is very common in a lot of figure skaters as well. I see it all the time. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way to be confident and to still have setbacks, but to be able to kind of better manage them and not get as low, you know.
For sure. Learning to deal with them versus letting it crush you.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. I think we're done.